Hello and welcome to the Business Thinking Podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Alex.
Hi, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Been a while, hasn't
It
it?
has been a while.
Yeah.
There's a few good topics we can look at today. One of the ones I wanted to look at is something as everyone's talking about in the community at the moment, at least in our sphere, is the merger between DBT and Fivetran, which is
Two big players.
Indeed, yeah, and it's I think it's causing a lot of there's been mixed reactions, right? A lot of people are very excited by it. Some people are quite worried about it because obviously you've got the worry about the open source side of things and what Fivetran are going to do about that, or DBT, whatever their new name is, DBT plus Fivetran are going to do.
DBT5.
Yeah, they probably. I don't think they are renaming actually. I think they are remaining separate publicly, but they're going to be working as one company essentially.
I imagine it's a bit like how you get things like Meta owns like WhatsApp and stuff like that. But it's not Meta's WhatsApp. It's still
same parent company now.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. We might be incorrect. So yeah,
I don't know. I'm not. I don't work for either of them, so I couldn't say.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a rumor about 2 weeks ago. There was a rumor going around, and a lot of people sort of poo-pooed it and said maybe it's probably not happening. And then I think Tristan Handy, who's the CEO of DBT, a few days ago from time of recording, basically said, "Yeah, it's true. This is what's going to happen."
It's rumors. Rumor mill was right.
Yeah.
Once again.
Yeah. Although I mean, the skepticism in me, a lot of these things like, oh no, it was leaked accidentally. Not casting any accusations, but some of these things,
Oops.
yeah. No, it's a good way of.
Yeah, it is. It's a good way to generate excitement, and I do think. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm the most informed on this, but from at least yes, there's definitely some sort of hang-ups on why this could be bad. But imagine if you've already invested in both of them, it's probably could be quite nice for you to it's technically one less outgoing in a way. You're only combining against one thing, and
depends how they do it, I suppose.
Yeah, and you're getting those two tools there are built into each other, and you can it makes it easier to integrate things together. You got your workflow is already kind of sus for you.
Yeah,
if you have the money.
Well, exactly. A lot of our clients are using both, and I think one of the questions, at least something that I've been thinking about, is what are they going to do about pricing? Are they going to do some kind of combined pricing? Hopefully it'll be cheaper overall for people. That would be a great benefit for the customer, but we won't be able to know at the moment. We'll see where things go. And then how tight is the integration be? Because you can already integrate the two very easily. Are they going to be adding more kind of first class integrations? Is there going to be a button in DBT that makes it easier to get Fivetran in, or vice?
The big Fivetran.
Fivetran is now enabled.
Yeah, DBT's new nuclear option of
Fivetran. Yeah, you can say what you like about it, but it does make sense. Yeah. You've got Fivetran covering the ingestion and landing of data, and you've got DBT taking over from.
They do cover each other.
Yeah, exactly. You got the E and the L. The L and the T, a bit of the E.
You got some.
Yeah.
E, T, and L in whatever order you wish them to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not E last or E second. E has to come first.
Yeah. If between them, they've got the L, and the T covered now.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So, regardless, don't laugh, live studio audience.
They're there. They're laughing.
So I think one of the interesting things that, at least from a technical perspective, like implementation wise, is how they're going to integrate in terms of orchestration.
Okay.
Yeah. So being able to, I'm trying to think about user experience here. Like, would you want to be able to configure the ingestion of data on the DBT cloud interface, or would you want to do it from the Fivetran side? Like, how are they going to integrate the two? Because they're still logically separate things. As landing the data and doing the transformation on the data, they're still separate things.
I could imagine it being, if it was one big app, if you know what I mean, one big like DBT cloud sort of setup, that could
plus Fivetran.
It could become quite unwieldy. So perhaps they might keep them separate.
Yeah.
I'd also would argue if you are keeping them separate, then you introduce the whole problem of friction between your things, and you got to jump around, and you're like, oh, I've got to check Fivetran now to make sure DBT is working. But if it is all like under that orchestration tab inside of DBT cloud, it just takes you to some brand new version of the jobs and pipeline side of things.
Yeah, it might be like they're probably going to brand it something like enhanced pipelines and
Pipeline Plus.
Yeah, or have Fivetran in there. That's what I do if I were marketing it.
Fivetran pipes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think for the most part, it's only going to be beneficial for the end user, for the consumer. Pricing going to be a different matter. They have to play that very carefully. Otherwise, you're going to turn a lot of people away.
Is there any at all alternatives to this? Any rivals to this at all?
No, I mean, there's plenty of tools on both sides, aren't there? I mean, you've got things like Airbyte, which is an open source, kind of open source alternative to Fivetran. Of course, they've got a paid version. You've got Airflow, which is not exactly what Fivetran does, but it's kind of overall orchestration engine.
Yeah, that's all orchestration stuff like that. But then again, you don't have anything that is Fivetran plus DBT.
I think there are some tools that bring in both. So you got things like Y42. I know like DataOps.live has some integrations to both. There are plenty of tools on the market that kind of look at both, but hopefully you're not going to get as strong of an integration as the actual two tools themselves.
Isn't SQL Meshwise or things that does it as well?
I believe so. Yeah. I mean, all of these things have APIs. Yes, Live Studio Audience. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So there is
another thing I didn't mention, like they're now.
Oh, cool. Well, that makes their life easier then. Yeah. So there's even less options. So isn't that then at that point is becoming more of a monopoly?
I think there is an issue there where I think this is one of the worries that I've seen online is when big companies like this start merging, you create less choice for people.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the perception. Whether that's going to be the reality or not is a different matter, because I think people can still use Fivetran on its own. People can still use DBT on its own.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not too kind of forced into using both together.
Yeah, it's not like just because now that exists, DBT core is not an option, for example.
Yeah, I mean, Tristan in his announcement blog was very clear they are committed to keeping the open source.
Yeah, that's
and I hope
to hear.
Yeah, and I hope that comes to fruition and that it does stay that way. I think if it for whatever reason doesn't pan out, it's gonna get up a lot of people's hairs. They're going to be very upset. The community will be upset by that, because DBT has always been community driven.
Pitchforks will be grabbed.
Yeah, right.
And stakes will be burning.
So I think they're smart enough to not do that.
You'd hope so.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they've got decent marketing. They'll work it out.
They'll work it out.
It's fine.
Yeah. No. So I am quietly excited about it. We'll see. I think it's going to make a lot of companies who are maybe just entering into their kind of data journey, maybe less mature earlier on. It's going to make it a lot easier for some of those companies. The companies that already have both, it's going to be interesting to see how they, how they honor those companies' kind of needs, if that makes sense.
How complicated, air quotes, is Fivetran? Because I've only really seen it from the perspective of utilizing it as, not Fivetran itself. The data is brought in via Fivetran. Mm-hmm. That's where my journey starts. Is Fivetran itself actually that complicated? Will it?
I don't think it's that complicated. It's one of those things where it's very simple to do simple things.
True.
It's got it makes it easy to do a lot of the kind of mundane tasks, like just pointing a database at another database and syncing data between them.
Okay.
More complex things, you have to add more configuration, but I think it generally scales quite well. I think people's primary gripe, to use your terminology,
like gripes,
is cost, because I haven't looked at it recently, but you have to pay every however many however many rows transferred over, and costs can get quite large for certain companies. But as with cost with anything, like Snowflake, Databricks, any of these cloud providers, it's about how you manage that cost. A lot of people complain about, oh, my Snowflake costs are really huge. It's usually because they've got a warehouse that's way too big, or they don't have the auto suspend set right, and
it's just they've not optimized it.
It's not configured correctly. It's not necessarily the platform itself.
It's the user.
That's not what I'm saying. I would be a bad consultant if I said it's the user's fault, but
this is what you're dancing around.
It can be a configuration issue.
Yes.
It's not always a configuration issue, I would say that, but it can. before you blame the tool, it's important to rule out optimizations that you have the power to make.
Yeah, I think that'll just come into play throughout the whole process, whether it is Fivetran or DBT or whatever the combined beast of them both is.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing that's going to be interesting is, then there's always a bigger fish, right? What happens when, Databricks and Microsoft come knocking and they're on, oh, that looks very tasty,
Yeah.
I can't wait for my merger of Fivetran, DBT, and Databricks.
Let's just put them all in one company.
Yeah.
Just have it all. They're all doing one thing.
And what will it be called? It's fine. I suppose it's just called Microsoft, really.
Five bricks.
5 bricks. 5 whole bricks. That's my new sort of standpoint for how I'm going to. It's like Medallion.
So one of the other interesting things that I think we could talk about that I've also seen is the worry that once one tool tries to start doing too many things, it, apart from anything else, starts becoming very complicated for the end user. You end up with this big monolithic tool that has about 300 drop downs and buttons, and you don't use half of it.
But we've seen it with other tools that are like an amalgamation of 4 or 5 people's slightly different work, and they've just been sort of duct taped together. So the experience between one menu to another is, different. It works differently. It is functionally not the same, and you can tell that this is like 4 or 5 different ideas just sort of bundled together in a very haphazard way, and I hope it doesn't end up the same thing.
Yeah, and I think one of the things with DBT specifically is it's always been built by engineers for engineers, data engineers specifically, or data analytics engineers as they've coined, and one of its advantages is it's got a lot of metadata behind the scenes that you can extract, a lot of JSON metadata that you can extract and do things with. People have built ERD generators and things that generate that metadata and take it out and all kinds of things. So there are other opportunities for tool integrations into it already. Like that already exists.
Yeah, that already existed with just DBT. It doesn't need Fivetran at that point.
No, exactly. Yeah. So that leads on to, okay, well, there are other things that DBT itself doesn't do. Like it doesn't have a modeling engine, although that they're kind of changing that because they've got the DBT canvas now where you can drag and drop things in a visual style. It's not quite modeling.
It's not really a modeling tool. It's a simple sequence.
No, exactly. And it has always annoyed me how DBT calls data modeling, like just creating data, like DBT models. It's not quite what we would think of data modeling.
Yeah, as I said, it's all that. That's not data.
Yeah, it's more of a semantic and naming thing. Although in our line of work, that's very important.
It is.
Yeah,
it's also important to be clear about what it actually is.
Well, precisely. Yes. So I think DBT should stay in its corner of doing the transformation bit really well, allowing developers to stay dry and have reusable, reproducible, testable, documentable SQL code, basically.
The stuff it's really, really good at.
It should stay doing what it's good at. Yeah,
I think it's staying in your lane, but then again, also, if DBT was not to have those extensions, how would it grow? Yeah,
well, they've got to. In reality, they have to sell something because that's one of the that's one of the advantages of DBT Cloud, and like things like the column level lineage and its DAG navigation. DBT catalog is fantastic. I think there are a lot of really good features that it is worth paying for, where it is worth paying for DBT Cloud, for example. But it also shouldn't be trying to do everything.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Yeah.
I think, but it's got to grow in some way as well.
Mm-hmm.
How much more can you really add to the tool at this point?
Yeah. No, I mean, the only thing it's missing now is, with Fivetran, is the end bit, isn't it? Its presentation is having some dashboarding capability, but
kind of partially. Well, it's already got integrations to Power BI and stuff like that.
Tableau
already built in.
Well, yes, it does have integrations to Tableau and Power BI, but it also had integrations to Fivetran before, and now they've merged.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's going to be getting Power BI any soon.
So we've done a lot of rambling there. So what's the point we're making? I think the key points here is we really hope that DBT remains partially open source.
Yeah.
The DBT Cloud offering, I'm I'm saying this from a completely not affiliated, my personal opinion. I love dbt cloud. I think it's great. There are some things in it that could be improved. I think, for example, it's Git capabilities, but I think they are aware of that. Like I've seen in the wider community that it is something they are aware of that needing to improve. So anyone watching from dbt, nothing personal. And also, so it does need to remain partially open source. It needs to remain doing what it does best and focusing on the transformation portion and not trying to do too much. Let Fivetran handle the Fivetran bits and just have tighter integration into it. Don't bring too much Fivetran into dbt. It would be my opinion on that. And it'll be interesting to see where the pricing goes. I think my kind of highlights of what we were saying.
As long as they don't alienate their current user base, I think guys only see good things for it, really. At least for dbt.
I think the aim is to make things easier, and if they stick to that goal and deliver on it, then why not?
Yeah, very noble.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
that's the problem. I think, like I said at the beginning, regardless of what side you fall on or whether you like the merger or you don't, you can't argue that it makes sense. So that it doesn't make sense. I mean, because it does just make sense.
Business sense.
The two tools go together perfectly. Why would you not?
Yeah, and I think the fact that they've not become one name or dbt's fall under Fivetran.
DB-Tran.
I don't like that name.
I thought it was on my head.
But if you've got, I just think they're still very independent things, and like you say, they're just sneakily merged in the background.
Sneakily? I think they've been very open about it.
I mean, I think if you didn't know, you didn't know.
I see. Yeah. There are some people that I saw on that announcement post that were like, "Oh, this is a surprise," and that obviously clearly hadn't seen the kind of leak a few weeks before, which is fine. Not everyone's always on the ball with the news. It's fine, but yeah. Okay,
but cool. All good things. Be current.
Any final thoughts?
No, I'll just be very interested to see where it goes. It's all still quite fresh, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what the timelines are. Whether we are going to see change in the next month. I know Coalesce, the dbt's conference, is coming up soon. They're going to talk a bit about it there. So they're changing the keynote because they weren't sure whether it would coincide with Coalesce or not.
Well, I think we'll have definitely another topic to talk about then. Our Coalesce review.
It would be good.
Yeah.
I'm unfortunately not at it this year, but it's I went in 2023. It's pretty good.
Flex.
But
I presented at Coalesce.
I didn't actually say I'd present. I just said that when I was at it. But yes, I did present. If you must know.
Look at how cool he is.
It's not what I was saying.
I'm hyping you up here, man.
All right, Coalesce is a good conference. Go to it.
It's good. All right, we'll call it here.
Yeah,
cool. Well, thank you very much for listening, everyone. And we will catch you in the next one.
Have a good one. Thanks, guys.
Bye.